Good morning, everyone. Myself Kavitha, Assistant Professor, Department of Civil Engineering, VSP Engineering College. Today, I am going to give the lecture about the subject of estimation, costing, and valuation engineering. So, we already discussed what is estimation, what is the costing, what is the valuation, what are all the purpose of estimation, costing, and valuation. So, this is the course objectives. The students will acquire the knowledge in the estimation as well as the tender and contract procedures. What are all the procedures and practices involved in the tender and contract, and what is the valuation, what is the purpose of valuation, right? So these are all the course objective of this subject. So this is unit 1, that is quantity estimations. We already give some introduction part about the quantity estimation. Today we will see the some introduction part of the rate analysis and costing. So that is the unit 2, right? This is the content of the unit 2, rate analysis and costing. Standard data, observe. What does mean by standard data? What does mean by observed data? And schedules of rate. Who will prepare the schedules of rate? We will see one by one, right? And what are all the material cost and labor cost and standard data for the man hours and machineries for all civil engineering works, right? And also the rate analysis calculation for each and every work. That is, it may be a building work, it may be canals, roads, and everything. So we will see one by one. First of all, I would like to explain what is rate analysis and costing, right? So what is the rate analysis? So definition of rate analysis, what it does involves, what are all the purpose, what are all the involved quantities, what are all the quantities that are involved to calculate the rate analysis of the building, and what is the main purpose of rate analysis, and what is costing. So we already explained. So what is the estimation? The process of determining the quantity, that is called the estimation, quantity of material, labor, and cost. So that is an approximate cost process. So what is costing? For all the required data, from the required data we should calculate, we can calculate total quantity, total costing of the project. That process is called costing. So it is also included in the rate analysis, right? So we should avoid the over and underestimate. So if you are taking a project, what will happen? So we will calculate the quantities without knowing the proper value of the quantity. So it may due to overestimate or it may due to underestimate. So that will not happen if you are doing a proper rate analysis of the building. So that is the main purpose. So we can avoid that over and underestimation, right? We are using this estimation and contract, we are using this rate analysis in the estimation process as well as the contract and tendering process. Once we know the total quantity, total rate of the project, then only we will choosing the proper tendering and contract practices. So these are all the main content. So this will be I'm going to explain these are all the content. First of all, we have to know what is the rate analysis, what is the definition, right? So it is the determination of the rate, so per unit of particular item of work. So if you are constructing house, so different particular item of works are involved. So each and every particular item of work, what is the rate per unit? So if you are taking a construction of brick masonry, what is the unit per unit? What if you are taking a plastering, what is the unit for per unit? What is it is a meter square or meter cube? So it is determination of rate per unit. So that is the main definition of rate analysis, right? So this rate of material, labor, it may vary from one place to another place, and also it will differ from the item of work, it will differ from the place to place. The rate also varied as well as the cost also vary, as well as the labor quantity and availability also varied from one place to another place. We all know, right? So these are all the steps in rate analysis, right? So first of all, we have to know how to select the item of work. For calculating the rate, initially we should select. So what are all the material involved in this work? So selection of items. So if you are taking a construction, now if you are taking a constructing wall, so what are all the given, what are all the requirements of the material? First of all, we have to know the what is the brick, what are all the quantity, what is the, we have to know the quantity, we have to calculate the quantity. So first we have to choose the material, right? So initially we have to choose and calculate the quantity, how much quantity is required to complete the construction process. If we are selecting only one particular item, what are all the quantity required for the material, and find the labor quantity for constructing this particular item of work. So that is the main thing. That is the third one part. So after that, we just collect the current market rate. Then only if you are selecting a rate is equal to the current rate or it is excess to the current rate. So we have to analyze from this current market rate. And if you are taking over rate, we have to cancel this rate, right? So these are all the steps in rate analysis. So we have to know what are all the main components of the rate analysis. So each and everything will be depends upon the two category. That is only one. First one is material, another one is labor, right? Another one is equipment. So these are all the main component: material cost, labor cost, and total equipment tools we are using in this construction means that cost also included. Some of overhead cost also included after calculating the rate and as well as the labor. After calculation of the labor cost, after calculation of the material cost, we have to include some of the cost, that is overhead cost and contractor profit cost. So mostly if you are taking 10% of total profit, the contractor cost should be included finally in the rate analysis. We will see one by one, right? So these are all the main purpose we already discussed to determine the current rate of particular item of work, and also we have to calculate the quantity it is required for the particular work and estimate the number of different categories labor. What are all the different category of labor required for the project? So these are all we already explained content, no? So this is the main purpose of rate analysis. And also fix the labor contract rate also. Once we know this total rate cost of the project, then only we have to fix the labor contract rate. And also if there are any extra rate available, extra time should be available, then only we will select this project. So these are all the purpose. So explain in this image content, right? So what are all the factors that affect the rate analysis? So each and every that the main purpose, main fact is the rate analysis is mainly based on material and labor. So it may be affecting some factors. Mean what will happen? It will be included the material first. Initially the material cost will change, automatically the rate analysis of the total project will be vary. And also the labor cost also vary, right? So that it may be an equipment cost, nature of the work and location of the site. So it may be a long distance, what will happen? So here and I will explain one more content related to the location of the site. So it must be, it is also called as lead. So I'll explain later what is lead and how it can be calculated, how what is the value or adding to the calculation of the rate analysis in the lead. So I will explain. And weathering conditions, specifications. What is specifications? We will see in this third unit, but I will give some introduction part of the specifications. So specifications mainly depends upon the quantity and the quality as well as. If changing the specification, automatically the rate calculation also change. And also condition of contract, it may be labor contract or material contract, whatever it may be, that also affect the rate analysis. And time period, transportation cost, contractor profit also included here. So it also a one part of affecting the rate analysis, right? Just we will see the schedules of rate. Once we fixing the rate analysis, the total item of work is depends upon the schedules of rate. Who will prepare this schedules of rate? The central public work department only they are calculating the schedules of rate. Then from this rate only we have to choose the total material and labor cost. So that is the main purpose of providing, that is the main purpose of calculating schedules of rate, right? So these are all the rates they prescribed the PWD departments. It is changing year to year. They are calculating this value for year to year. So this is for each and every particular item of work. So the unit also mentioned because it is per unit. It may be a meter square or meter cube, whatever it may be. For this particular unit, per unit only the rate is depends. So each and every work has certain amount. So if you are taking PCC work in foundation, and also they are including the specification, that mixed proportion also including. For this proportion, it is the unit is meter cube because of the foundation work, the meter cube. For this it is 3000. So they likewise they are prepared. So this only we are going to follow this. So what is task or outturn work. So that is another one important category here. So this is nothing but that is the one skilled labor, the capacity of doing work by unskilled labor. How much quantity of work they completed within a working hour. That is, it may be an 8 hours. How much quantity of work is completed. The completion of the work by the skilled labor per day, per working hour, it is maybe 8 hours. So that is called outturn work. So that outturn work done by the skilled labor, that may be vary with the situations and locations. If example we can say, if it is in the bigger cities compared to the smaller town, totally the specialization and the experience, everything will be varied from those cities and the towns, right? So the bigger cities where specialized and experienced labors are available compared to the cities in a smaller town, that is some deviations are there, some outturn is greater than small towns and countries. So in well organized work, if you are planning everything in a well organized manner, what will happen? The labor is required is very minimum. So that will be depends upon the areas and location. So what are all the factors affecting the task works? Mean the nature of the, what is the nature of the work, weathering condition and the location of the site, experience and skill training of the person. So if maybe a skilled person, but it may some deviations in the experience. If you having experience, they will complete the work within a 2 hour, within a 3 hour. So it will be depends upon the experience, right? And also the labor wages and incentive of the labor also affecting the work task, and how much labors are required to complete the work task, everything also it be included in the work task. So what are all the data required to analysis? We already see what are all the data required to creating estimation, to calculate the estimation. So we already seen, right? What are all the data required for calculating estimation is rate, specification and drawings. So these are all the main data required to calculate the estimation. So likewise here also, what are all the required data for calculating the analysis of rate? It is the details of all operations involved carry out of the work, the quantities of material and their cost, number of labor required to complete the work, so that is also included. So these are all the two content, right? So these are a rate item depends upon this quantity of material and the cost and their cost, labor cost of labor and their wages, overhead cost and establishment cost and profit cost and contractor profits. So these are all the factors included. So mainly will depends upon the material and labor. Material cost plus labor cost is equal to the total cost of item of work. After that total cost, we already explained, no? After that total cost, it included some items. What are all that items? Like contractor profit, it may be 10%. Water charges, it may be 1 to 2%. And transportation charges, it may be applicable only the selection of the site to the construction site to the availability of the material source more than 8 kilometer. Then it will be added the transportation cost. So more than 8 kilometer, the distance should be calculated per kilometer. We have to include the total transportation cost to the cost of item of work. So that is the extra other charges we have to include it, right? So this may be inclusive of first cost and cost of transportation and railway freights and local taxes and other charges. This may be also included. So already seen some lead distance, lead statement. What does mean by lead? The distance between the availability of source to the construction site. So that distance is called lead. If it is more than 8 kilometer, we have to include this lead data in the rate analysis, which is very important thing in calculating, while calculating rate analysis. If you are exceeding 8 kilometer, we have to include it, right? So it is the everything will be depends upon the material. Now it is depends upon the labor. So how many labors are required? What are the category of labor? So it is skilled or non-skilled labors. It is a mason. What is mean the mason? The first is skilled labor, second skill and unskilled labors. It may be a mason or mazdoor or coolies. So this may be depends upon the category of labor. It will also included here, right? So finally we have to include the contractor profit and miscellaneous charges to the total cost of the item. And some of these are all the main content calculation of rate analysis. We will see the rate analysis of particular item of work to take the example of constructing PCC work or RCC work or plastering work, right? Next, we will see the types of rate analysis. So these are all the main types: detailed rate analysis, approximate rate analysis, standard data book method, and market rate analysis. So we will see one by one, right? So this is the detailed analysis. Like estimation calculation, detailed analysis is main focusing the selection of item, after selection quantity resources, after collection of quantity resource of current rate, we have to calculate the total rate analysis. So that is the approximate. Compared to the approximate, only the approximate purpose they are calculating, they are constructing. So it is a quick and simple but less accurate method. Compared, simply we can classify the two method. Compared to the detail, it is simple and quick method, but it's less accurate method. That's all, right? Both process are same. So directly we can take the data from the standard data book. That method is called standard data book method. This method saves the time because we have to directly choose the value from the data. So we cannot choosing each and every material, each and every labor, the category of labor cost. So we don't have that much of time. So we will choose this kind of method for calculating rate analysis. That this, because it is told this method saves the time, effort, and it will provide also reliable rate, because it is the standard data book, the value from the standard data book. So that will be reliable method only. And market current, total cost of the project should be based on the market rate. So that is called the market rate analysis, because based on the correct market conditions, each and every material, what is the current rate of the market. So it can be taken from supplier, it may be a contractor or market sources. So from the sources we can collect the data and we can calculate the cost analysis process. This is reflect in the actual current market scenario. Total cost might be based on the market rate, so it will be reflected, right? So these are all the main content in the rate analysis. So this is the course outcome of this unit. Once we completed, they have to calculate, they should know what is rate analysis, what are the main components are involved in the rate analysis, and what are the factors that are using, what are the affecting factors of rate analysis, as well as the total cost of the labor, material, everything. So thank you.